Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm super excited for this video. It's going to be about product research, which is the most important aspect of becoming a seller on Amazon and being successful. So even if you choose a bad product, no matter how good your marketing is, no matter how good your listing is, it will not sell. So what I'm going to show you guys is how I look for products and how I have found products that just one product makes me over $350 a day. So now I have multiple of those, but we're not going to set our goals that high for the first product, even though it's still possible. So one thing that is necessary for the product research I use is called Jungle Scout. It does cost a little bit of money, but it's a one-time fee for the Chrome extension, and then they also have a web app, which I'll go over in a little. But it tells you exactly how many sales people who are selling that kind of product get, how many reviews they have, what their revenue is, what the weight of their product is, which is a factor which we'll go over in a little. So this is a necessity. I started off not using this, kind of just guessing off what I think would be successful, but I wasn't successful with my listings. I never made over $30 a day off of one listing until I bought this Jungle Scout. And I consider it a necessity. I won't do any product research without it. So what this is their product database, which is also called the web app on their website. And then I'll link this down in the description. It'll be the first link if you guys want to check it out. So what this is we can enter details about Amazon listings that we want and select our category, and it'll pull up every single listing on Amazon that meets that criteria. So the first thing I'll kind of usually start with, especially for people I'm teaching, is price range. So how do we know what price range we want to look for? That's dependent a little bit upon how much money you have to invest. What I usually like to do is $20 to $50. I don't really like going over $50 on Amazon because anything above that, people really have to think about if it's the correct one, is it the right purchase, because that's when it starts to seem a little expensive. That's when they'll consult other people, their significant other, their parents. Great thing about Amazon is their credit card's already stored in there. It's one-click buying. So if they want it for half a second, they click it, they bought it. It's that simple. But when you go over $50, that kind of goes away. And the reason I don't like going below 20, for beginners, I'll usually say 15. And the reason for that is, let's say you're selling something for $10. After Amazon fees, let's say it's $3 to ship. Amazon takes $1 or 15%, whichever is more. So in that case, it would be 15%. So they take $1.50 there. So you've already lost $4.50 on that. And then let's say you can buy the unit for $1.50. Okay, you're making $4 a sale. So let's say you sell 10 a day, you're only making $40. That's barely over $1,000 a month. That's not what we're going for. We're not going for mass products because that costs a lot of money to hold that inventory if it's moving slow. We try and get the best product that sells the most units for a good profit margin. And the normal profit margin I'll look for is about $10. So usually $20 to $30 is where my price range are. 90% of my products meet that criteria. So let's put ours for this one, we'll say 15 to 25. And usually, let's say you're ordering a $20 product. Let's say you order 500 units to start. That will usually cost probably about $1,000 to $1,200. So it's pretty normal. So for net and rank, we're not going to fill these out on this. Those don't matter for what we're doing. What's important to us is estimated sales. So this is by month. So how many do they sell a month? The minimum criteria I'll usually look for is 10 sales a day, so 300 a month. So minimum 300. We won't put a maximum because if we can find one that sells 1,000 a month, why not do that one? So 300 minimum. So 10 sales a day, $10 profit. Each sale, $100 a day is our goal. Now, this can be different for you. If you're okay making $50 a day and sitting on $1,000 worth of inventory for a month or two, then so be it. If you have to start with a less expensive product and make $4, but you're selling 10 or 15 a day, and that works for you, then do it. But I got to the point where I need to be making at least $100 a day from a listing because I know there's enough out there where I can do that. Otherwise, I'm just putting my money into something that's not as useful as a product that would make me more. All right, so then estimated revenue, we don't care about that. We just care about sales. And then reviews. So reviews are really how we gauge competition on Amazon. So let's say the first listing for a keyword, let's say we go grill gloves because they're very competitive. Now, any of these listings I show you on this, don't do. None of them will be good. I'll show you one that's good, but there's a reason you can't do it. So don't even look at these products that I show. They won't be good. So this is an example of a very, very, very competitive, oversaturated market. So when we're looking at Amazon for sales, see how these say sponsored right here? Sponsored? That means they're paying Amazon to be there for this keyword, grill gloves. So they're not organically there, so we're not going to look at them. We're going to pretend they don't exist. So this is where our competition starts. We see 200 reviews, 300 reviews, 21, 15, 2, 700, 3,000, 140. This is very competitive. What I'll normally look for, I mean, even if it's this competitive, they're still getting, these are probably selling over 2,000 units a month, probably top 10. That's way too many. You're not going to be able to rank with them. So our whole goal with product research is to figure out where we think we can get our product listing for the biggest keywords. So grill gloves, I mean, I could put heat-resistant oven mitts like this guy, but that's less broad. So we want to check the broadest to see how competitive it really is. So what I'll normally like to look for reviews, I'll just put a max. I'll normally look for 50 or 75. I mean, there's enough products under 50. And the last thing I'll click is standard, because oversized, you're going to get hit with a lot of fees from Amazon for them to ship it. And yes, it is necessary to use FBA to qualify for Prime. You'll get about 1/10 of the sales if you don't send in your inventory and you fulfill it yourself. Plus, you're setting up yourself for a lot more work and less profit. So then we can choose our categories. Some of these categories, you're not allowed to sell in. They're restricted. I have access to a couple because I got ungated. I had to pay someone to get ungated. It's a very difficult process. I wouldn't recommend even trying it anymore because it just gets more difficult as time goes on. But just be aware, the categories I have unselected, except for toys and games. It's just way too competitive. I don't like looking at that one. These are all gated pretty much, except for electronics, toys and games. And then I mean books, but we're not looking to sell books. We're looking to start our own product. So these are all the categories I selected. Every one of these pretty much is restricted and you cannot sell in it. So don't buy products for retail arbitrage. Or if you're creating your own product like we're talking about here, don't go into these categories. So we just click search and it pulls up everything that meets this criteria on Amazon. You'll see 2,333 results. So then what I'll do here is I'll look through these listings, and as you get going, you'll kind of know what's oversaturated and you don't even look at it, like yoga mats, yoga towel, not even going to look at. Most things like fitness, yoga are oversaturated. Stuff like this where it's a big name brand. Let's see an example of this. Like clothing, I won't look at all. Any big name brands, or you'll see a lot of water filters on here. Don't even look at those. Kind of just keep scrolling. So these take up a lot of room for a 100 pack. That's going to be pretty expensive to ship, even though it's light. So let's use this as an example. I've used this a couple times. Okay, what's this called? Wire connector, also known as heat shrink butt connectors. Okay, so we will then go over to Amazon, and just because one listing meets our criteria doesn't mean all those products are going to meet it and it's the one we should go with. So we need to search the broadest keyword. So what was it called? Wire connector. We will search wire connector on Amazon. And again, this is called the Jungle Scout web app. There will be a link in the description. And now, so that is $40 a month, but I mean, you're going to save tens of hours using that instead of going into a category searching. What I'll do is I'll pay for the month, do a ton of research, save a couple products for the future, cancel it, so I only spend $40. Now, this Chrome extension, which I'm about to show you, is a one-time purchase, and I mean, you can't go without it and find products. The other one, you kind of can. It's just you're going to take a lot more time. This one, you can't research products without it and figure it out. So for this product, we search the most broad keyword and make sure we're in all departments. Otherwise, it won't bring up all the products. So we'll look here. We'll see, okay, prices kind of drop and are kind of low. They're under our minimum, even though the one we looked at wasn't. Reviews, there's a couple over 75 or 50. Not too bad, except for right here. Sales don't really meet our criteria, and they're kind of scattered, which I don't like to see. So this wouldn't be a product I would do. This would be an example of a product with not a lot of depth of market and medium competition. I think we could find better. So let me show you an example of what a good product would be. Now again, don't do this product because it's a restricted product on Amazon. I tried to sell it because of how good the numbers were. I sold it for about 10 days, and then Amazon removed my listing twice. And I don't know why there's other sellers that are allowed to sell it and I'm not. But it's a product you're not allowed to sell because it is a lockpick set. Now, I bought 500 of these and had to send them all back, but I did sell them all on eBay within a month. I was selling like 10 a day on eBay and got all my money back. So, again, we don't look at sponsored, and when you pull up the Chrome extension on Jungle Scout, sponsored will not show up on there. So, let's pretend we're going to do this product. We'll look at how well it is. Okay, look at these sales. This is fantastic. I like to usually look at the first 10 listings and make sure usually at least 7 of the 10 meet my criteria. So, okay, only person above 50 reviews or even 26 is one person. I'm fine with that. And that is because of their price is super low, because that's them right here. They're selling something a little different. We're looking to sell a kit kind of like this. So this is, I won't even count this. It's not the same product. So we'll X this guy out. We're not even going to count him on here. So you'll see about 70% of the listings do meet our criteria right here. And because of the competition here, I think I could get my product right in this area right here. Probably 3 to 6 or 7. And if I do, I should capture probably 500 sales a month. So what's that? 15, 17 a day? Okay, so this would be a product. Let's see how much it weighs. Okay, most are about a pound, pound and a half. Not too bad. We can see the fees people are paying. So let's say we charge $24.79, like this guy. He's paying $7.73 in fees. So what that means is if his product costs him, let's say his product cost him $10, which is extremely high. Actually, let's say $7. That's more realistic. His product costs him $7. So add that to this. So his total costs are $14.73. So he would be making over a $10 profit, selling 1,000 of these a month. So he's making over $10,000 off this listing, which, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. That's probably close to his numbers because I bought mine shipped to the US for about $4.50 a unit. So people ask me, how do I know what to price? Pricing is kind of weird on Amazon. Again, I wouldn't count this guy. This guy's just extremely low. We don't want to have a race to the bottom in price. I'd look at these main ones right here, top like 7, and I'd see, all right, I think I could list mine $22.99, $24.99, and be fine with sales and capture this number. So if I can get right in here, I should sell 1,000 a day, or 1,000 a month, sorry, which I was actually on track for after, within 10 days of starting my listing, I was selling over 30 of these a day. Now, within a week, my listing got removed, but that's how my other products have worked that have stayed. I'll list it, I'll get a couple sales first day, a couple more, then within a week, I'll be selling 25 units plus. I just started one recently, about 2 weeks ago, and it's already doing about 35 to 40 units a day at a $10 profit. And my previous one is also doing about 250, 300 a day in profit. So this is an example of a great one. Again, don't do it. It's restricted. Your listing will get removed and you're going to waste your money. Let me show you one more example really quick of, let's see, something that's too competitive. We will go with, what is too competitive? We'll use the Grill Gloves example, and I'll show you how good their sales look. But trust me, you won't be able to compete. My first product I did was camping hammocks. I saw 1,000 sales, 1,000 sales, 1,000 sales a month. And then a ton the first page, but all of them had over a couple hundred reviews or even 100 reviews. And I ended up not even being able to make it to the first page. So our whole goal is to get on the first page for the most broad keyword. And we can gauge where we can get by looking at the reviews. So you see here, 1,000 a day, or 1,000 a month, 1,000, 209, 1,000, 2,000. And sometimes you'll see these, this just means they barely sell any. Sometimes you'll see very skewed like this, where it's a ton, none. That usually means it's a little bit different product. Or they did, it's just usually a different product. So I'd see this, I'd be like, lot of reviews, a couple, lot. That would kind of scare me away. I don't really like that. So this wouldn't be one again. Even though the sales are there, the reviews really matter. All of mine I've gone after that I was successful with were not competitive. There were no more than 50 reviews on the top 10 listings, except for maybe the first or second listing had 100 or more. But I mean, you see some in the thousands, don't go after it. One last thing to look for is if there's a brand name that sells a lot of these. So I think Heat Shrink Wiring was one that I looked at recently that has a lot of one seller. Okay, just kidding. But a lot of times if you see a brand and they have more than 3 or 4 of the first 10 listings, that's a sign I'd stay away from. They probably have a lot of loyal customers in that market, which is why they got there. So it doesn't mean necessarily the product's that good. It could be their brand is, and that's how they get a lot of sales on there. And they could be getting outside traffic from that because they're a big name brand. So if I'll see 3 or 4 in the first 10 that are the same name, so let's say we see Wirefy, I would not go after that product unless all the people down here were hitting our sales also. So that's going to be kind of the basics for what I do for product research.